Here's the 2025 Road Glide with the 117 and some modifications. Let's go. So this is Pete with BackDraft Bikes, everybody. This is part of Harley's new fit program that they're doing here, and we've got a 2025 Road Glide that we're going to take out for a spin. But what they've done is they've put 12-inch bars, a 5-inch wind splitter windshield, and a Tallboy seat. So it's a little bit different. It's set up for a big mammal like myself. I'm kind of excited to try this. This is the bike that my friend who rides a Goldwing almost traded in for. So let's get on and try it out, shall we? Wow, there's quite a difference in these bars being up.
Yes. Well, the stock bars are 10-inch.
Right. These give you a couple extra inches.
It is a lot higher.
Yeah, oh yeah, it does. Yeah. Thank you, sir. This guy is super cool. Wow. Super cool. Definitely a different feel to the bike. Woo! I don't know, it feels like I'm in command of a chariot or something with the long risers on it. I kind of like it. So there's not a ton of stuff on this that's special, but the seat gives you a little bit of a pullback. Here we go. Woo! Ay caramba. I can't believe I just said ay caramba, but let me tell you what. Just the different seating position with the Tallboy seat, you feel, at least for myself being taller, I feel like I'm in quite a bit more control, and I really like the fact that the bars are up a little higher. It just feels much more comfortable. This is again the 2025 Road Glide. So you've got your fixed fairing with a lot of wind protection. I actually don't even feel much at all on my body or even on my helmet, which is, I always get a kick out of that when you're on the windshield fairing bike like this. It's just completely protected from the wind. It's just a very surreal feeling, like you know you're riding a motorcycle, but you're so well protected that you don't really feel any resistance at all. The bike kind of takes it. So just the basic features for this bike is you've got your 117, which has been refined quite a bit. It comes with fairly decent pipes from the factory. I mean, you can hear the noise it makes when we launch. I feel that right from the factory, it's a really nice combination. I also feel like Harley's really refined their game when it comes to suspension, exhaust from the factory. It used to be you'd buy a Harley and immediately have to tear it apart, but it seems like now they're really working at making it a little bit better out of the gate. It's super windy out right now, and I'll tell you, this bike I have not felt really any negative effects of that wind. I mean, it is windy. So the bike is a pretty stout beast, very commanding feel on the road. Now this is a nice flat, no bump road, but the road we're going to take up here in a second has a lot of bumps on it. So we'll be able to feel like, where does the suspension come in on this? These bikes come in at just shy of $30,000. Of course, if you start adding things to it, I do know it changes things out, but the Billiard Gray model, which is actually my favorite color on this for this bike scheme, is like $27,900 out of the gate. guy in front of me is going to get a speeding ticket. I saw him pull out. Wow, this thing is crazy. Yeah, I saw him pull out of the gate like rodding it, and he's on the Lowrider ST, which is a pretty fast bike. And there's a cop sitting right at the top of this hill, so yeah, he slowed down. That would have been amazing. So you get 4 ride modes with this. You get a full LED package on this bike as well. The infotainment center on these I absolutely love. It's just over 12 inches long. It basically allows you to do everything you want on one screen. And I remember when Harley first came out with these on the CVO models, and I thought, wow, that is so cool. I love it. But then they changed it up, and now they essentially have it on every bike. There's a little bit of customization you can do to the screen itself. The center obviously gives you an area in which you select your different modes, and you can see it supports CarPlay on this model, which is super cool. The reason why I like CarPlay so much on these is that the Harley-Davidson app is a little tricky to use on your phone. It basically steals the internet from it to power the GPS that these bikes come with. With CarPlay, you're essentially doing the same thing, but you're going to have the same familiar map that you may be using in your car or on your iPhone. You're also going to be able to use apps such as Waze, so you'll be able to not only know if there's a hazard in the road up ahead, a pothole, or there's public safety individuals waiting for you. So I'm kind of a big proponent of that. The only downside to any of those, obviously, is if you're touring and you're in an area with zero internet, your phone has a really hard time working, right? So you can download, like with Google, you can download maps to work offline, and that is helpful when you get into the situations with no internet. Your phone will still work, and the Harley-Davidson maps also do work offline as well. Although going from online to offline, I've had a little bit of heartburn at times. All right. The brakes on this are actually quite adequate. The bike is so snappy. The 117 just does a great job at balancing power and torque. It pulls right up to the red line at 5,500 with no problem whatsoever. Again, it's the same basic technology on the pushrod V-twin, both firing at the same time, that gives you the potato. Over the years, changing things around, even up to recent times where they've modified certain oils to be able to work better with the bike. It's pretty cool the way it works. You get a 26-inch seat height on these with the factory seat. The Tallboy seat pulls you back a little bit and gives you about an inch of clearance. Being tall, 6'4", I have plenty of room on this bike. I really don't have any issues with it whatsoever. Even with the factory standard seat, the bike does fine. There's plenty of room, and you throw a set of highway pegs on this thing and it's literally like you're sitting in your recliner going down the road. Next thing you need to get is Netflix for the display. Then you literally will be in your recliner. And if you don't pay attention, you'll end up back in your recliner. For these bikes being as heavy as they are, weighing over 800 pounds, they do have a nice balance. The suspension on these bikes is really tuned well. That's one thing Harley, I feel, has stepped up on their game in the last couple of years. They've really listened to the consumer. They're not as stiff and they're not as mushy as they used to be. They're more refined so that you can actually handle corners. But when you're going down the road, it floats out pretty much everything. I wouldn't say this is the plushest suspension of any motorcycle I've ever ridden, but it is right there. Compare this bike over to like the Indian Chieftain, and I think the suspension on the Chieftain is a little bit more plush. I feel like this bike leans a little more towards the sport side. but by no means is it harsh whatsoever. This comes in 4 colors and 25. Each color changes the price just a smidge because they can. And again, adding larger bars on, they have many options for these. Standard, I believe, is a 10-inch bar. This is a 12-inch, gives you an extra 2 inches of riser. And then they have a 8-inch bar, which gives you 2 inches less, obviously. The Road Glide fixed fairing also gives you an additional storage area on both sides that's watertight. It has some adjustable fairings on the side here, allow you to dial in the wind or block out the rain. Standard audio on this is actually pretty good, but you can upgrade to the Rockford Fosgate systems, and there's also tons of aftermarket stuff out there, and you can really take the audio up to another level with this bike. Couple that in with the luggage that you can put on this bike, and I mean, you can load this thing up as a long range weapon, no problem. No problem at all. The bike really leans into the corners, especially with these bars. I can feel that the bike really wants to corner. I think the lower the bar, the more, to me, you have to push on it, and it's probably just due to leverage. But I'm digging these. I know they make aftermarket sets that are even longer than this, but I think that that 12-inch mark is just about perfect. We're getting a little traffic jam anytime I take one of these demo rides and we end up behind a trike. I don't know why that is. Probably the demographic of the rider. I don't know. I feel like after you're on 2 wheels and then you go to 3 wheels, it's only a matter of time before you're on a mobility scooter. Ah, man. Thing handles great. Excellent power. And the brakes aren't too shabby either. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think the 117 is my favorite non-high performance motor coming out of HD right now. I think it's just an awesome fast revving motor. It's got a lot of power down low, sounds excellent, and it's super smooth. Super smooth. I mean, it absolutely rips. What's your thoughts on these bikes? This is a really nice bike. I don't think you have to be over 60 to buy one of these. I can see myself riding one of these with no judgment. I think throwing an extra set of aftermarket pipes on this thing and really making it loud would be an amazing upgrade, but as it stands from the factory, just the way it comes, and throwing on some extra bars and a Tallboy for myself being tall and a boy, it's an awesome setup. Just about 30 grand to get into it though, so that's something you got to think about. Well, appreciate you watching the video. Hit the subscribe button if you don't mind, it really helps our channel out. Throw some comments down, let me know what you think. Did you buy one of these yet? I'd be curious. As always, please ride safe.